What's up, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Etsy Store Review. We're going to go ahead and take a look at BigEasyArt. BigEasyArt is a smaller store, only 271 sales so far, and a decent number of reviews, 67 reviews. Generally, from 67 reviews, this store is actually fitting up with the normal metrics of Etsy. Generally, if you have a review on Etsy, that correlates to about 5 sales. And you can use a similar sort of ratio for like Amazon and Shopify. Generally, on Amazon, it's about 1 review per 10 sales or so. So if you're ever like researching a shop and are trying to estimate what their sales are, that's a way of doing it from reversing from reviews. And it's a rough napkin sketch kind of a way of figuring that out. But looking at these items, these are looking pretty good. These stores are 220 film adapter set. Oh, for film folks. Oh, I don't know enough about photography to know this, but I do know that it's a really good niche. And just the fact that there's 5 people who have this item in their cart means that it's a good selling niche. Normally, an Etsy store, you want it to have about 20 items in the first version of it. But they're getting to have a decent number of sales with just 5 items. Overall, based on what these items are, what are these? So these are the film adapter reels for folks who are into traditional photo film. Okay. So some adapters there. Okay. So it's 4 pieces. Oh, this is a good gig. You could almost ship these in a letter or in an envelope with like a stamp or a couple of stamps. Since it's thinner than a 1/4 inch, I think you're allowed to ship that in an envelope. So shipping is 50 cents. The cost of printing these is almost nothing. Printing inside of our like print on demand app, these would probably cost about $3. And then you might have like $3 worth of shipping attached to it also. So these could be print and shipped on demand really easily, but the margins on this are great if you're doing them yourself. So this is great independent print farm gig. The way to expand this, though, is this is a type of store that could take a lot of effort because this orders might come intermittently. So you might have an order one week or then a couple orders the next week and so on. So it can become very overbearing to manage Etsy and respond to messages in 24 hours and that kind of thing. So this might be a really good store for like print on demand. But the description here is good, a good detailed description of what it is. Good batch of reviews, proving what it is. The photography is okay. I would recommend taking these photos on a cleaner back surface rather than the granite, because the granite kind of hides what the item is. It kind of disappears into the foliage of the granite, if you will. So simplifying the background. And you can do that if you don't have a nice clean space. You can do that with like AI background removal tools. Adobe, Photoshop, Canva will do it for you for free. There's a lot of places that'll be able to do that for you for free. So you can get really good photos with a nice clean background that work really well on Etsy. But overall, good setup. The design of the products appears to be okay. Generally, we don't recommend having text on the very first layer because that can create a lot of confusion. But I understand that because they have this little nub on the other side, you have to actually print it upside down. But if there was a way to put that text on the inner rim so that it's on up above the print bed, because what happens with these letterings is that if you're producing a whole mess of these, one of the letters might go cockamamie or sideways or something like that and smear out the rest of it, and you might have to print it a couple of times to get good results. So it's not, it can be dangerous. But having photos of every one of the colors is really good. Overall, very good store. And to have a store that is this new and but still has this many sales with this few of items is a big indication of how strong this little niche is. And then if it was shared in like the photo Facebook group, the film photography Facebook group, then I imagine that it would get even more play. But having a nice narrow niche is great. Also, improving the Etsy store as a whole with an actual logo art and banner art improves it as well. But the rest of the specs seem to be doing really good. So this is a good store, seems to be doing quite well. But yeah, just a few tweaks around the edges to help improve it just a little bit more.